So let's go to the second question, the second topic. The second topic, I want to know a little bit more about your experience in India, right? So the first question, how's your education experience looks like in India? Because like China, before I enter college, one of the most, I should say not one of the most, it should be the only most important task for me is to get as high marks in the college entrance examination as possible, so that I can go to one of the top universities back in China, and things like that. So especially in high school, the study life experience, the study life can be a little bit tough and high pressure. How's the education in India?
So India, broadly speaking, the education condition is still in development stages. So there is a good chunk of population which may not be literate or going to the schools. There's a good chunk. Like, we do not encounter them on day-to-day basis because India is huge, but there are lots of corners of the country where education has not touched yet, or people are still not going there. But it's increasing really fast. But the country is so huge. China is also huge.
Yeah.
So there's the whole population which needs to be controlled. Anyway, my personal experience, like it has been similar. Like I know that in China you have to give some huge 3 days exam.
Oh yeah.
For the
the college entrance examination.
Yeah.
高考.
Yeah. So even in India there's a similar thing. Like the Indian institutes, the government institutes, it's called IITs, and those are really tough to get into.
IIT, I think, they have several campuses in different cities, and they are the top universities in India.
Yeah.
How tough? 1%?
No, very less than 1%.
For example,
1% is not tough.
For example, how many students join the examination every year?
Around 13 lakh students, 1.3 million students give the exam.
1.3 million. How many people get admitted?
So in these IITs, there are lots of IITs, right?
Yep.
But only the top 4 or 6 IITs are good IITs.
Okay.
And now they are.
In total, how many people they enroll?
The top 6 IITs, they will enroll some 3,000-4,000 from 1.3 million.
3,000 or 4,000. Let's just say 4,000 every year.
Yeah.
And let's say 1 million. 1 million, 4,000. Then it should be 0.01? 0.225. 0.25% is that? No, 0.4. 0.4%. Yeah, I think that
That's very common.
Basically 4 people out of 1,000 people. Yeah, less than 1%. Yeah. Go ahead.
For 1.4 million, 1% of that, like 10% is 1.4 lakhs, and 1% is 14,000. 0.1% is 1.4.
Yeah. 0.4%.
Yeah.
And so how's your elementary school, junior school, high school? Is your family give a lot of pressure on you to get a good grades in school?
So that's really common in a lot of households, but it was not really that bad in my house, at least. So my parents, they had this they always promoted you, as you know, that I have 2 elder sisters.
Yep.
So they promoted to all 3 of us to choose any branch or stream that we like. And it does not have to be the most competitive IITs or science branch. My parents were like, you can also choose commerce, which is like business, or finance, or sales, or you can go
choose
into
art.
Yes, so it's fine with that. Like
Okay.
you can also choose arts.
Okay.
And a lot of people who are in the government services, like doing those political roles, something, they are coming from arts backgrounds. So yeah, in the Indian families, they also like government job. So they feel that government job is safe, although it pays less.
I think that every country, I think even in America.
In America, it's actually very good.
Yes, they also think that government job is pretty nice. I think in every country, work for the government is the most secure job.
Yeah.
At least for a long time.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pressure there, and people from arts background can get into that. So my parents were basically open that you can pursue anything that you like. And
is you the first generation college student, or your parents went to college as well?
My parents did go to college.
Oh, I got you. I think that because they themselves used to went to college, so they can think about this more, in more diverse. If they never went to college, maybe they will think about go to college in a different way, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly.
And I'm thinking about that let's say when you study at high school, how your calendar looks like. For example, get up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., sleep at 12 or whatever. How the calendar looks like for a typical high school student.
It was kind of relaxed for me compared to my peers. So a lot of them were studying very rigorously for the entrance exams. Most people start studying 2 years ago, and some people also start 4 years ago.
What do you mean by start 4 years ago?
For the entrance exam for college.
How long? How many years for the high school? 3 years? 4 years?
So high school is 11th and 12th standard, 11th and 12th grade. And I don't know, the terminologies might be different. So what we have is, after the elementary, we have first till 10th, and after 10th, we have 11th and 12th. And after 12th, we have college.
Yeah, so elementary is 6 years. And then junior school.
Okay, what range is junior school?
From 7th to 9th.
Okay, I see.
3 years for junior, 3 years for high school. So in China, it's 6 years for elementary school, 3 years for junior school, and 3 years for high school. How it looks like in India?
In India,
4 years for junior.
No, it's not bifurcated as properly like that. But what you can say is that the early stages are elementary and then primary. That's fine. Main thing comes from 9th and 10th, and then 11th and 12th.
Okay.
So 9th, 10th together, and then 11th, 12th together. These 4 years are most important.
9, 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah. So 10th and 12th have two huge board exams, common exams, and everyone is stacked against each other. And it's separate from the actual competitive exams.
Okay.
So 10th and 12th, people have to study a lot.
Okay.
And 11th also, because the competitive exam asks questions from 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th.
Okay. And when you say high school is not as pressure to you as to others, why? Because you are much smarter. You don't need to spend so much time to learn.
No,
why?
I wish. No. So I never studied for these competitive exams.
Yeah, why?
Because firstly, that at that point, I like until 8th or 7th standard, I never used to study at home. I only used to focus in the school, and I used to get good grades from that. So I had this inbuilt feeling that.
So which means when you say you needed to study at home, which means you finish all the homework at school. Yeah. When you go back home, you just play, have fun.
Yeah. Or I wouldn't do homework, either one of these two. So it worked well because I used to pay attention in the school itself.
Gotcha.
And when things got complicated in 9th and 10th standard, then I did realize that now just working in the school will not help, because suddenly the questions have exploded.
Suddenly the question you are facing become more and more complex.
Yeah. So I had that realization late. So until 9th, 10th, I was still going in that old mode. And in 10th standard, my grades were, it was good. Like it was 84%, which you might think that it's good. But
84%. What's the ranking? So,
well,
for example, how many students you have in the class?
In my class, there were 400 students.
You mean one class? You stayed in the same room?
No. They were spread across 10 different rooms. So 10 divisions for the same standard.
Okay.
Total, there were 400 students.
So one room, 40 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
40 or 50. So total 400 students. And out of that, 98 students got 95% or above.
Above 90?
Yeah, 1/4 people got above 95.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's because people tend to study a lot and they give a lot of mock
Then what's your ranking out of those 400 people?
Maybe 50 percentile or something.
So maybe rank like number 200.
Yeah, something like that.
In the middle.
Yes, in the middle.
Got you.
So even though it was 84%, which sounds good.
Yep.
But the atmosphere is so competitive.
That's why I'm asking ranking. Because no matter it's 90% or 50%, it depends on your peers. If they do pretty well or they do pretty bad, right? The ranking will influence which college you can go to.
Exactly. So until 8th standard, I was getting pretty good marks. Like in maths, I will often get full marks. But from 9th, 10th, it tipped. And by the time I did not see my report, I also thought that I might get good marks. Like I will get a good ranking. But then I realized that that's not how reality is. Most people, they are studying for this test day and night, and they are able to outpace me.
Yeah, of course. They spend more time on you.
Yeah. So in 11th, 12th standard, I took a complete revamped my whole study plan. And I never went to these coaching classes for extra studies, but I still believed in self-study. So I understood that I will have to study outside of my school hours at home. But I decided to do that myself because I know that a lot of people go to tuitions and coaching classes and then they talk there and have fun and they may not pay attention. And it might work out for them, but in my head, I had this mentality that I want to enjoy life as well. I don't want to spend 3 hours after school into a place which looks like school again. And then they will give me extra homework and I have to do both of the homework at night.
I wonder whether your parents will say, hey, Rajan, you should go to join those, extra study school. Will they ask
No, they were not asking me. They asked me that, do you need to? You tell me, we will enroll you into those. So I told them no. But in final year in 12th standard, I had a girlfriend at that time and I was not getting a lot of time to meet her. Then I asked her that should we start going to a coaching classes so that we meet.
A good reason.
Yeah, a good reason, but thankfully it also did not play out. So both of us decided that that will be a waste of our time. And
so
both of us studied at our home only.
Okay.
Yeah. So even in the final exams, in 12th standard, my score was not like top ranking or so, but I got some 90%, and that was a fair rank. I was never aiming for the IITs because I knew that it will take a lot of hard work, and I was not mentally prepared to put in that much of time. Like people do study till late night after coaching classes and tuitions and do homework for both of them, and they still may or may not be able to crack. Often may not. Because the
competition is very, very strong.
So mostly they are unable to crack. And I also know people who do not do all of these things. They study less compared to these people. They do study afterwards.
They are some genius.
Yeah, but they are still able to crack it.
I know. Same in China.
Yeah. So I knew that forcing myself to do these things which I don't want to do is not going to land me into IIT.
So which means that you want to go to IIT, but you don't want to cost too much.
Yes.
You think that the price is too high to pay.
Yes, exactly.
And there's no guarantee.
Yes, exactly. So of course it's a prestigious college. Like if you get it, you can boast it around, but the price is too much to pay. So I withdrew from the competition.
Are you still such kind of person even today? For example, if there are some goal you want to achieve, but the price may be pretty high, and you, even if you pay for the full price, you still no guarantee to get it.
So
will you?
things have changed since then a lot. Like now I believe that I can do anything. At that point, I felt that this is not my cup of tea. Now, like even in this state, if I go back, then I will choose not to do it because my goal is not to get into IIT and a prestigious college. My end goal would be to be successful, and that's not tied to being in college. And I realized this more and more when I started working for Amazon because in my team, 90% of my teammates were from IIT and I got promoted before them. I was mentoring them, and I found 50% of them were not good enough for being a good. They were not at the bar which Amazon expects.
Which means that you find after you began working, you find that those people who graduate from the top universities is not as capable as you. So you feel okay, well.
Yeah, so in the end, it's like going to IITs is about how good you are about in solving science problems given from the textbooks and outside. But real world is about how willing you are to innovate and learn things on the fly, new things. And it's not science now; it's coding. The subjects are completely different.
Yeah.
So those who have cracked IITs may not definitely perform here. Things change. So I feel that I made a good decision. I saved a lot of time in my college years, a lot of stress.
So where you spend those time since you save lots of time, right? Where you spend them?
Yeah, my life during that time got very monotonous. So I used to spend my time self-studying, and I used to spend the rest of the time talking to my girlfriend. So yeah, those two were the major things.
Got you. Self-study and romantic relationship.
Yeah. After 10th standard, I did realize that I cannot just go on about this without doing self-study at home. So I started investing more time from 11th and 12th. And even more so in 12th, I had proper timelines fixed. And there was some question bank of last 10-year questions. I solved it 3 times before appearing for the board exams. So, yeah.
Got you. And then how about the college in India? How the college life looks like?
So honestly, the college experience in India, like most of them, is not very good.
Why?
So
I feel that my college life is one of the best part.
Yeah.
So far.
So I have seen that Chinese colleges, they are still present in the top colleges in the world rankings. But you'll not find these IITs. Like recently, some in the past 4 years only, IITs have come into those rankings. It's still 300, 400, and the remaining colleges are not there at all. So a college like IIT, you might expect it to be in top 100 at least, but it's not there.
Why?
And yeah, that's because the quality of education is still lacking in India. The teachers, the professors, those are mostly those people who tried to get a job but could not get a job. Then they were like, what to do next? I need to make money. And then they ended up being a professor forcibly because they wanted to make some money. So most teachers are unmotivated. They and the whole course and all that is also very diluted, and passing the exams and cheating in it is very easy.
You mean even in IIT?
I've heard some good things about some particular professors. Like it's based on the professor. When it's a private college, so professors can do anything. So there are some professors, even in my college they were, but that's rare, like only 10-20% professor. They will give just one question, and that will be a full application based question. You have to understand and then find out what I have to do. But that's with only few professors in IITs. In IITs, there are some good professors who are actually doing it because they are really good at it and they are paid a lot in IITs. But IITs, like, only a fraction of the people in India go there. Majority do not. Majority have to go to these colleges where people are more, teachers are bad. And I went to a good college actually. I went to a good private college where the teachers were really capable in talking in English. So before college, I did not even talk in English. I would not feel comfortable.
You mean before you went to college, you speak Hindi at home?
Yeah, at home I always speak Hindi, but even with friends I would always talk in Hindi. But let's say I'm in school in 10th standard and I have a question, then let's say if I have to ask in English only, then instead of me asking it, I will ask my friend that can you ask this for me? So
you don't feel comfortable to speak English
exactly.
in public.
Yes. So I was not good at speaking itself. I was not good at writing as well. So when I came to college, then the teachers were really proficient at English, and all of the students were also, because I went to a comparatively good college, which also like 90% of Indians cannot go to. So I went to this good college where teachers were actually good. There are lots of colleges in India where even though it's an English college, English medium college, they won't even talk in Hindi. They will talk in their own regional language.
Yeah, I know. I know you have so many regional languages.
Yes. So that problem often happens that if you ask a doubt 2 times, then they will go down to their regional language and they'll start explaining that way.
Got you.
So at least that problem was not in my college.
Got you. That in your college, English is a mainstream language.
Yes. And as a result, the results are very clear that in India, the situation is such that most people force their children to become an engineer or a doctor.
Yeah, because those major can give you better promise to get a well-paid job.
Yeah. So a lot of people are going for engineering colleges, and engineering colleges are popping up everywhere. But after graduating, 90% of them cannot get a job.
Why?
Because they are not skilled enough. They don't have the right skills.
Which means that a lot of students who went to an engineering college, actually, after 4 years of study education, they are not well prepared.
They are not prepared. So you know about lead code and DSA questions, which we have to do to crack the computer science roles, software engineering roles. This is very common knowledge. Anyone who is going to computer science college will practice this to get into good jobs. And in IITs, if you go to some lead code or code chef, which has these are competitive coding platforms, you can filter based on the college name. So if you put in IITs, you will see some 2000 results from the past 10 years. And you will see that 50% of them are 6 stars. That's like really, really good at. So the competitive coding culture is really good in IITs. So that's why they are able to crack exams which Amazon, Microsoft, these big companies provide. However, in my college, like by third year, I was the only person practicing DSA amongst my peers. And by the time I graduated, there were only 5 to 10 really people who were good at DSA. That's a very small number. Rest people, they were not practicing DSA at all. And as a result, it's really clear that if you see what all technologies India has produced, like you have got Tencent Cloud, Alipay, and there is DJI, which is really good. In India, there are some products which are copied. There's Ola, which is copy of Uber. There's Flipkart, which is copy of Amazon, but there is no original product.
But that's something I felt confused because if you look at American or some other Western countries, there are so many successful people came from India.
Yeah.
They are so Satya, right?
Yeah.
And so many other people. They are so brilliant. They are so capable. Why?
Yeah.
I felt confused because if they can succeed here, they should also be very successful back in India.
Yeah, so that's where what the country is offering that comes into play. So in India, it's not the same as in US. Like in US, what I feel is that they have so much money that they have cracked the problems like water safety and drinking water everywhere. That's not in India. Electricity guarantee. We have power cuts in India, and garbage collection. The roads are clean. They have put in the money and everything is sorted, and then they still have a huge surplus of money,
Yeah.
which they put into risky innovation. So they know that these things can fail. 90% of the time it will fail. They can still put in the money because they have so much surplus money. India, on the other hand, they do not have the money to keep the roads clean and keep everyone give electricity and all that. They cannot do that yet. So they do not have extra surplus money to take risk and do innovations. So all of the tech companies in India are service-based companies, which is like they provide service to they outsource services to other companies instead of building their own product, which is innovative and big.
So you think that the main reason is still about poverty?
Yeah, and the whole system, like how the opportunity, the ease of doing business is like here, getting funding is easier. The interest on loans, that's much lesser than India, and the taxes are much lesser than India. There are lots of economic factors at play. The political corruption, bias, these things, all those things are gone. In India, you'll be favored if you have more political connections, all that.
I get your point. So basically, it's the environment for people to do business. It's much friendly.
Yes.
Here.
Yes, yes.
Got you. I think that we talk a lot about the experience at India. And let's go to the third topic. The third topic is that your journey to transform